Last spring, we came up with a new strategic plan for innovation at CC, and we were trying to do a couple of things. We were trying to meet the needs of the students, address the needs of the students right now, and we were also trying to come up with an approach to innovation that is really in line with our values as a small liberal arts college. Innovation at lots of institutions now is considered to be equivalent to tech. And for us, that's not really appropriate. That's not what we're about. And it also tends to, if you're thinking about innovation in terms of technology, then it tends to target a certain demographic and to create fairly exclusive spaces. So that's also not what we're really interested in doing at CC. So we're interested in a broader definition of innovation. And we're also interested in thinking about creativity as a precursor to innovation, because innovation doesn't just start with, okay, now we're going to invent something. You know, you have to be involved in a creative process, and you have to know something about creative ways of thinking in order to get to the point where you're actually ready to innovate. So we really came up with three things that we wanted to focus on in this strategic plan for innovation at CC. That is design thinking, which is essentially a specific approach to problem solving. Another one is mindfulness, and it's interesting because there was a study that came out in the Atlantic, was reported on in the Atlantic a few months ago about the post-millennial generation, the generation of kids who have grown up essentially with iPhones or smartphones. And one thing that was found there is that there's a very high level of anxiety among these students, and these are sort of the age of our incoming students. And so that high level of anxiety, as you can imagine, is not conducive to creativity, innovation, risk-taking, all of which are necessary for innovation. So one thing that we really want to do is to work with our students on mindfulness, which is a way to address anxiety, among other things, just also learning just to be really present and focused. Focus is also a big problem, right, for students right now, because they've grown up with their attention drawn in many ways to many screens all at the same time, right? So mindfulness is also a way to cultivate focus. So that was the second piece of the strategic plan. And the third piece of the strategic plan is that we wanted to work with students on risk and resilience and failure. And it's generally accepted that you're not going to innovate or create something new if you don't have the room to fail. But in a regular academic setting, often students don't feel like they can fail. And students who have gotten into CEC have had to perform at a very high level and may have not had a whole lot of encouragement to fail along the way. So we're also thinking about how can we create spaces where students feel like they can try things that they may not be good at, or, you know, just take a chance on something or try something that they would love to do even though they know they may not have the particular gift for it or talent for it, or just to try something that's completely new and know that if it doesn't work out, it's okay. So that's one thing that we also really want to support and create a space for, to create some safety. And again, you know, you have to think about how you can do that both in a curricular setting and an extracurricular setting. In some ways, there are great extracurricular opportunities because then there's not evaluation involved. So that's a role that innovation at CC can really play. Innovation can really step into that space and provide a space where students can experiment with risk.